Greetings. This is Paul the Poke from PaulthePoke.com, and welcome to This Week in Prophecy. This week we've got the new moon has been sighted outside of Jerusalem, so welcome to Tishri. Technically, I think I guess it would have been the first day of Tishri was today. We have Medicane Daniel and Libya, Mexico and aliens, and we're going to close up with flooding red wine. So the following is from Mark Harris and others at whenisthenewmoon.com. Now, for those of you who are familiar, he is the guy, along with some others, who go out there every month, look for the little sliver crescent of the new moon. 2 or 3 witnesses confirm it, and they move forward. And so here's commentary. New moon was sighted in Jerusalem this evening. This is from their website, by the way. On the Sabbath, September 16th, 2023, Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah, is upon us. And again, it was located in Jerusalem, seen at 7:03 p.m. Here are the witnesses. Again, sighted on the Sabbath, September 16th, 2023, Gregorian calendar. And therefore, this 7th new moon will be observed after sunset on September 16th through September 17th at sunset. So remember, when the sun sets, that's technically Sunday, beginning of a new day in Hebraic thought. So based on that, here are the following biblical feast dates for the fall. Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, September 26th at sunset. Goes through the next day till sunset on the 27th. Sukkot or Tabernacles, opening night September 30th after sunset. October 1st through October 7th. Last great day of the feast, October 8th. And for those of you who are interested, check it out. Whenisthenewmoon.com. Here's their website for those of you who are not familiar with it, know what it looks like. Here's Jerusalem. They cite this north, or they go out and look for the new moon every month, north and east of Jerusalem. And they have witnesses keep track of the moon. It's fun. Trying to make a good faith effort to understand time as God directs us. With that, we will transition to... specifically, we're going to focus on ancient Put or modern day Libya. And we care about that because of Ezekiel 38. And I want to say the word Put or Put. He's a son of Ham, his descendants in their land. That's per Strong's Concordance. And any other, I just chose Strong's. There are many others state the same thing. And I think that term is mentioned 7 times in Scripture. Derna, Libya. Here's a map. Take a look at Derna, Libya. Now it's in the northeast part of Libya. Here's the border with Egypt. There's Benghazi. We're all familiar with Benghazi. Well, here's Al-Baida. And then here is Derna, Libya. This is where this took place. It's a port city in eastern Libya. Population of around 85 to 90,000. Derna was once the seat of one of the wealthiest provinces among the Barbary states. City is now the administrative capital of Derna district, which covers a much smaller area than the old province. So, if you haven't been following along, had a Medicane. Medicane is like a hurricane, except for it's in the Mediterranean. It's what they call a tropical storm cyclone in the Mediterranean is a Medicane. Medicane Daniel struck Libya. Death toll estimates are over or will be approaching 20,000. Some have commented off the record the death toll could approach 40,000, but they don't want to upset or anger locals. And there have been over 30,000 people displaced or homeless because of this. Now, you're like, wow, that's a lot. But the main thing that happened is when this storm moved through, caused the collapse of 2 dams above the city. And so there was a wall of water that was unleashed on this city. And at times, the wall of water was estimated to be over 20 feet high. So this is from Zoom Earth, just to give you some video. Excuse me. After bringing severe flooding to Libya, remnants of Storm Daniel have moved into northern Egypt today. This would have been several days ago, kicking up Saharan dust as it spins. System will continue to weaken. Alexandria, that'd be in Egypt, could see moderate to heavy rain in the next 24 hours. And so here we go. There's your landmarks: Libya, Egypt, Benghazi. We'll let this thing go and just watch it spin. Not much to that, I suppose. A little 3-minute video of it. And specifically, we'll take a look at. Whoops, we got a glitch here. There we go. And this is from Daily Mail out of the UK. Swept away by the Libya tsunami, how streets went from calm to catastrophe in 25 seconds as stormwater from burst dams tore through cities, leaving up to 20,000 dead. I say it only took like 20 seconds or 25 seconds. Here's a video. You can see how quick. Well, this is actually over. But here comes the initial little bit of water. This is pretty amazing. This is a side street, but one of the main streets was like where the river empties out over, above the city to the south of the city, and then the water flows to the north. Um, the trench is just crazy what all that flushed out, and you get an idea how strong this stuff is. Just look at all these cars just being thrown. Water's powerful stuff. 1 gallon, 8 pounds, and you got, oh Lord, tons of gallons. Here's an idea, give just the scope of this. 2 dams damaged, one here and one further to the south. It seems odd, but, as we orient ourselves to a map, the way that the water flows in that part of the world is from south to north into the Mediterranean. But all the water just flushed down this narrow little gulch, and, well, you can see the damage spots in the red. And where the water covered. Let's see if we can. There's some videos. Some of this is a little slow. But Daily Mail has a whole bunch of videos. Some of these are a minute. This one happens to be 5. I'm trying to keep trash out of the drains. I'd like to see some of the flyover. If I can find one of the flyovers of the, like a drone that shows. It looks like a lake, but also I'd like to see the canal, or it's not a canal, it's the river channel where all this stuff happened. It's pretty amazing. So let me back up, see if this will do it. Yeah, there's a little bit of it right here. Here we go. This whole city just underwater. Pretty astonishing. But the death toll is over the top in the tens of thousands. So, that's the thing too. Part of the world doesn't get a lot of rain, doesn't get a lot of water. So the ground's baked so hard, so it's not easily absorbed into the earth, and everything just kind of runs off. A lot of times, like what we see in desert southwest of our country. So, if you want to check this out, go to dailymail.co.uk. I've got a link provided right here. You can click on this and read it. Genesis, transitioning to Genesis 6, verse 4, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterwards. When the sons of God, that's what we're going to focus on. The sons of God, what are known as angels, came into the daughters of mankind, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. And so there are many who think this alien phenomena, they are fallen angels and they're bad little dudes. Do your homework on that. Some of you guys may be hearing that for the first time and you think, oh, you're crazy. Yeah, fair enough. Um, but that line of thinking's out there. And that's kind of like the way of the Bible, though. Um, gives you an answer for this stuff. I mean, Jesus, in Colossians, he made all things. I mean, he either made them all or he didn't, including these little critters. What we call aliens, some might call fallen angels. Just food for thought. Chew on it, make your own decision. Mexican Congress, they had hearings, brought forth two non-human beings this past week. Allegedly, the two bodies were naturally preserved and are believed to be approximately 1,000 years old. Scientists, the critics, however, indicate these are, quote, ancient Peruvian mummies or manipulated mummies. They ain't buying it. And this is from NPR. There's all kinds of stuff. Isn't this funny how this little thing looks like E.T. from the movie E.T. from back in the, what was that, late 70s, early 80s? Looks kind of like E.T. Phone home. Mexico's Congress heard testimony from experts who study extraterrestrials on Tuesdays, and the surprise was is they they bought a couple of little caskets and a couple of bodies inside of there. Jaime Mozan, he is the main presenter. He's the one that did this. I'd play this for you, but it's all in Espanol. Poquito habla on my part. So, and all the other stuff that was posted on X, it's all in Spanish. However, this one does have some subtitles. So if you click on this one, you can read through this. And I guess they scanned this thing, did some DNA testing on the two beans, um, give it a thorough examination. There you go. Got some 3D imagery. And this is Jose de Jesus Zalce Benitez, forensic expert and a military doctor. He is the presenter here. So, hearing also included remarks by Ryan Graves, executive director of the Americans for Safe Aerospace Organization. He's also a former Navy fighter pilot, and he was one of 3 U.S. veterans who testified in front of the U.S. Congressional Subcommittee back in July. So, I also showed some videos of Mexican pilots struggling to make sense of fast-moving flying objects, and Mosan proclaimed, "We're not alone." So there you go. That's pretty much the gist of it. There was all kinds of hubbub about this, and of course the critics were like, "No, it's not real. Just little Peruvian mummies or fake mummies." Okay, thank you. We're going to close Revelation 16, verse 4. Then the third angel poured out his bowl into the rivers and the springs of waters, and they became blood. Context here, these events discussed in Revelation 16 are towards the end of the 7 year tribulation. As of September 2023, we are of the opinion here the tribulation has yet to begin. So, this is not exactly the fulfillment of prophecy, but it is a reminder of what is to come for the rivers and springs of the entire planet. And this is a little street in Lavera, Portugal. A vat of wine broke down, and I think they said 2.2 million liters of red wine, almost enough to fill. And now the good news is I could not find out what kind of wine this is. I was interested if this was a Cab or a Merlot or maybe as a Tempranillo, that part of the world, or a Syrah. I don't know. Maybe a Shiraz. that's possible. Didn't say. I couldn't get to the bottom of that. But here's what's important: this did not smell. This was good quality wine. So when this all flushed out, uh, there was no bad aroma left in the city, because this is the good stuff. And man, oh man, just think about that. Almost an Olympic sized swimming pool full of red wine. Um, See you later. So, with that, we're going to close. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to share with others at PaulthePoke.com. If you are not a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe right here at the email address. Type your email address in there, hit subscribe. You'll be notified every time we put something out. The fall feasts are upon us. Business is open tomorrow, and you know, plausible to be a Jubilee year. It's been kind of quiet here on the planet today. I would lean toward we're not in a Jubilee year, but I'll leave that to God to make that determination. Uh, Continue to watch, but as always, things tend to happen um, during the fall feast. But at the least, this is like year one of a new sabbatical set. So those do usually lead to transitions and changes in geopolitical events. Things, as you look back in history, things cycle in 7-year periods. And this would be year one of a new sabbatical set of 7. So new beginnings, if you will. Going to restart the clock. And if it's a Jubilee year, we're going to release a lot of debt. And I would argue Jesus may have some influence in that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It doesn't appear to be anything going on. So we watch, we wait. His coming is imminent. You never know. We don't know. I would argue you can know the season. And that's the thing. My wife and I were talking about this today. We are called to be ready, you know, alert, be watchful, be mindful. God told us what it would look like when he was coming. And he told us to pay attention and to look for these things and to tell others about it. And, prophecy is not something you just shove under the table. Quarter of the Bible's prophecy. And arguably, of that 25% that is prophecy, half of that is about a 7-year period where Jesus himself says this is the worst period in the history of the planet, which includes a global flood. So things will not be good when this all goes down. So pay attention, be a watchman, tell others. Anyway, and this is tagged under prophecy trend update, or categorized under prophecy trend update. Any of these things that would interest you in the far right column over here, I have articles going back to 2010. And we'll catch you next week. Appreciate you guys following along. Have a good one. Bye.